You spend months optimizing your site, dialing in your ads, and the traffic arrives. But instead of seeing sales climb, your site buckles under pressure. That crash isn't a random glitch. It's the logical consequence of your resource demands exceeding the fixed capacity of a cheap shared server. Shared hosting means your website lives on a single server, pooling CPU and memory resources with hundreds, sometimes thousands of completely random websites. The trade-off is straightforward. You pay a rock-bottom monthly fee. In exchange, you accept sluggish load times and run the risk that a security breach next door brings your site down. Managed WordPress hosting takes a completely different approach. Instead of renting a sliver of space, you outsource your technical operations to a dedicated team that tunes the environment specifically to run WordPress. This chart plots site complexity against infrastructure power. Shared hosting sits bottom left for simple sites.
Managed hosting sits top right for heavy demands. When traffic shoots up, your resource demands hit the shared environment's red capacity limit. The server cannot keep up. Sticking with a $5 a month plan might seem like saving money. In reality, you are bleeding revenue through abandoned shopping carts, penalized SEO rankings, and critical downtime. Let's look under the hood at the raw architectural differences between these environments, starting with the actual hardware running your site. A lot of business owners fall into a frustrating cycle. They buy the cheapest hosting they can find, realize it's too slow, and then pay optimization agencies hundreds of dollars to install caching plugins to try and patch over hardware that simply isn't built for high traffic. Premium providers like Voxfor skip the patches. They built the foundation on native LiteSpeed web servers paired directly with enterprise-grade NVMe SSDs, configured in a RAID 10 array for both speed and redundancy. The most critical metric for testing this hardware is TTFB, time to first byte. This measures exactly how many milliseconds it takes for the server to react the moment a user clicks your link. By utilizing the LiteSpeed architecture and NVMe storage across dozens of global data centers, that response time consistently drops below 250 milliseconds, whether your customer is in New York or Tokyo. Here is the financial reality of that speed. You pay a higher baseline cost for the managed server, but you instantly eliminate the recurring costs of premium speed plugins and the hourly rates of optimization freelancers. At an enterprise scale, those milliseconds matter. Raw server speed is a direct driver of how many users stay on your page and complete their purchase. That speed gets much harder to maintain once you introduce dynamic content, like a WooCommerce checkout, a membership portal, or a personalized user feed. Cheap hosting relies on standard static caching, saving a snapshot of your site to load quickly. But the moment a customer logs in or adds a product to their cart, that snapshot becomes useless. The server has to build the entire heavy page from scratch for every single click. The advanced architectural solution to this specific bottleneck is called Edge-Side Includes, or ESI technology. Up top, standard cache breaks completely when a cart item is added. Below, ESI wraps a boundary box around the cart icon, keeping the surrounding layout in a fast green cache. ESI serves the static layout to 3 users instantly, only updating individual carts. With ESI handling the load, you no longer have to sacrifice lightning-fast load times to run a heavy, personalized e-commerce store. You get both. While speed keeps your customers happy, enterprise-grade security is what ensures your business actually stays online. If you rely on a generic server without specialized defenses, a targeted DDoS attack or zero-day vulnerability can quickly swarm and smother the server, taking your entire revenue stream offline for days. To prevent that, professional hosts deploy a multi-layered automated security architecture at the server level, utilizing enterprise suites like Immunify 360. These defenses act as a shield wall. Malicious traffic faces a web application firewall and a massive DDoS mitigation system, bouncing off before reaching your WordPress core. With botnets stopped at the perimeter, all server resources are preserved for legitimate human traffic. And if an incredibly sophisticated piece of malware does manage to slip through, top-tier managed hosts include guaranteed expert malware remediation at no extra cost. They immediately clean the site for you. Paying a premium for a managed security stack is a proactive insurance policy. It protects your uptime and completely eliminates the panic of handing a freelancer a $500 emergency rescue fee. To figure out exactly which architecture makes sense for your bottom line, we have to map these hosting models directly to specific business realities. If you are running a static portfolio site or a small blog that doesn't generate revenue, sticking with generic shared hosting is the correct low-overhead choice. You don't need a sports car to drive to the end of the driveway. This matrix maps our viewer profiles against the recommended hosting type and the core financial driver. For the hobbyist, the priority is lowest cost, leading straight to shared hosting. Now look at a scaling e-commerce store. Migrating to a managed monthly tier is a mandatory operational requirement. The core driver here is revenue protection, ensuring the shopping cart actually functions under load and your SEO rankings aren't penalized by slow speeds. For an agency or developer managing multiple client sites, the math shifts again. You need elite infrastructure, but you also need cost predictability. Locking in a lifetime managed deal guarantees your margins won't shrink due to rising monthly renewal fees. Making this upgrade requires acknowledging a specific trade-off. You are trading away the absolute cheapest monthly price and root-level server control. In exchange, you get automated performance and specialized round-the-clock WordPress support.